How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SNDL Sundial growers. Of course, in regards to its overall performance inside the market today, I can sum it up as one word: consistent. But before we get started, let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the technical analysis, taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance, and where are those areas that we want to see SNDL for it to make some strong moves to the upside, and as well as the volume stats, because that is very key and it's something that I really want to make sure you guys keep an eye on. And then secondly, we're going to be going over the order flow distribution. We want to know, are institutions deciding to load up on SNDL with the large scale orders? We were taking a look at this prior and we haven't seen any inflow days in this regard. And then afterwards, when all of that is done, we'll be jumping into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for SNDL Sundial growers. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at 81 cents, being up 2.61%. On the low, it tested 79 cents, and then on the high, testing just up under 82 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 96.195 million shares. As far as for the average volume over 10 trading days, you can see it's around 96.518 million shares. So right around the same, and it's part of the reasons why it was good to see that SNDL had a strong day today. Just for your information, we're using the 1-year daily chart. Let's take a look at the RSI down below. You can see it's right here around 43.19. So yes, we are in the oversold territory here. As we know, it's definitely been beaten up for quite some time, especially if we go back to the date here. You can see from June the 3rd, and it's been on a downtrend ever since. Now, as far as our indicators on the chart, we are below the 100-day. We're also below the 21-day EMA, and we're also below the 200-day as well. So I was talking about, hey, if you're catching SNDL in the 70-cent range, as far as preparing yourself and accumulating some shares for that run up when it gets to $1 like it occasionally does, then of course this is an area that you want to make sure you're keeping an eye on. I would not be adding shares inside the 80-cent range, especially if it's testing 70s on a continuous basis here. A lot of people are saying, well, you know what, SNDL does usually bounce right off of the 200-day. Yes, that is true, but from as far as what we're seeing right now, it is breaking right through it. So as far as how far it can pull back to, let's say for example the market decided to have a fairly bad day, then we could see this stock getting to around the 75-cent area, and these are one of those areas where, again, this is where I'd add even some more shares to my position. And if it did pull back even further, you know, I'll be adding in the 60-cent range as well. So that's just one thing I want you guys to take a look at. And then the other thing is the 21-day EMA here at 86 cents. What is very clear here, we do have some resistance here right around this 83-cent level. Anytime we get close to this particular area, there's a lot of selling pressure. So what I'd want to look forward to, I want to see a move to reclaim the 21-day EMA right here at 86 cents, so then we can make that move getting into the 90-cent range. Of course, there will be a lot of selling pressure because there aren't many day traders that come through this play, but at the same time, I think it would gather up some nice momentum so we can get to $1, which of course is that psychological level where we're looking to break. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SNDL. So we can see here on the inflow, we have 22, and on the outflow, we have 24. We have 0 on the large for both. We have 15 on the medium, and we also have 7 on the small. As far as for the outflow side, we have 17 on the medium, and on the small, we do have 7. As far as for the large scale orders in the last 5 days, it still continues to be zeros down the board. And again, this is something that we have been used to. So institutions are not taking part in large orders, especially on the inflow side when it comes to SNDL. So a lot of the trading that you're currently seeing is either coming from retail investors, which would be no surprise since they pretty much own the float. And then secondly, if institutions are getting involved, then they're mostly purchasing small or medium-sized orders. They're not going in with large positions. They are protecting themselves because, of course, they're not going to be dumping their money in plays if they don't see a big return on investment. And this is something to understand. So I wouldn't be surprised if institutions are holding shares when it was a lot cheaper than the price that we're currently seeing. So just keep that in mind, especially if you are a shareholder. So now let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for SNDL Sundial growers, is definitely something that we need to keep our ears to the street in regards to this cannabis legalization. We've heard that, hey, senators are really trying to make the push on this to make sure that it goes through on a federal level. And this is going to be very important. And then on top of that, SNDL would have the opportunity to actually benefit from this. Also, in regards to the information on Fintel, I didn't bother checking it out because it didn't get updated as of yet, and I'll be sharing the same information that was made in the last video, and I don't want to do that. But one thing that we are aware of, the fact as far as for the short volume ratio, it is well over 50%. And as far as for short squeeze potential, we generally look for something that is above 21%. So all SNDL really needs is a lot of buying pressure coming through the stock. And the only way that's going to be happening is by having more volume. And I feel like as far as cannabis legalization on a federal level could do just that. So if you are inside of this play, I would definitely exercise some patience here. Another thing I told you guys, the 70-cent range. Ended up testing this area again for today. And these are one of the reasons why I always say you want to be patient when it comes to your entry. So at least when it does make that strong pop or makes that test to $2, you could set yourself up very well. There's no point overpaying for a stock when you can get it in a cheaper price, and this is part of the reasons why I really focus on pushing this message on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.